YouTube, what's going on? It's Jamar here, Vegas Sense. Got a new video here. This one is going to be a new video or a new fragrance that I just received from Alexandria Fragrances. And this is an inspired fragrance, and it goes by the name of Hacivaz. All right, so Hacivaz is Alexandria Fragrances' interpretation of Nishane's Hacivaz. And this particular fragrance, it does get compared to a few other fragrances like Aventus, sometimes even like Roja Elysium. I'm here to say that this fragrance, it does have some similarities to those two fragrances in like the opening spray, but pretty much after that, like after maybe 10 to 15 minutes or so, the fragrance is definitely its own fragrance, and it doesn't smell anything like Aventus or Elysium. All right, so just to kind of get into the notes of this fragrance here, the notes of this fragrance that we have are bergamot, pineapple, and grapefruit in the top notes, and then in the mid we have patchouli, we have cedar as well as jasmine, and then we have oak moss and woody notes in the base. All right, so this particular fragrance, when you first spray it on, it is a pretty decently strong fragrance, I would say. The pineapple and like the bergamot, and I would say even the grapefruit, you kind of smell all three of those. So I would say that at least in this Alexandria version, this isn't something where you can't really tell the notes apart. This is definitely a fragrance where when you kind of sniff into it, you can definitely sort of smell each one of those notes. Now, as it starts to dry down, I would say the bergamot and the grapefruit start to go away a lot more, and the pineapple is what starts to come out and be like the prominent player in this particular fragrance. And I would say even once this like dries down, the pineapple is still like the main, or not the main player, but it's still something that you can still smell, pretty nicely throughout like the entire life of the fragrance. Now, this is where I would say the fragrance goes in like a different direction from like Aventus. Like I said, after about maybe 15 to 20 minutes or so, this starts to become like more of like a oak moss sort of like woody type of fragrance. But it does also, like I said, still has some of like that fruity pineapple aspect to it as well. But yeah, the oak moss kind of gives it like, it kind of gives it sort of like a dryness, I guess you could say, to the fragrance. And I mean, this is definitely not smoky at all, like how Aventus turns after it starts to dry down. You definitely don't get that at all. Now, as far as the performance on the Hacivaz goes, I sprayed this on me this morning at like about, I don't know, maybe 11 o'clock or so. It's about 4:30 right now. So, it's been about, 5 hours or so, a little bit more than that. And pretty much I would say this fragrance has been a skin scent ever since maybe about like the hour to hour and a half mark or so. The one thing that I know that I've heard about the original is that, the original is like a beast mode type of fragrance. This particular fragrance, I would have to say, is not that. This never really gave me like super beast mode projection. It never really seemed like anything that was like a heavy type of fragrance. This, at least on my skin, is like, it's a softer projecting fragrance, which is a little disappointing for me because, hearing about how the original performed, I kind of expected this one to be, pretty much the same. And like I said, this one does not really project or give you like, like that beast mode type of performance at all. It's still definitely on my skin, so I can definitely still smell it, but I'm not really getting wafts of it, and I do have to kind of like dig in to really be able to smell it. All right, so I don't know if it's because maybe this particular fragrance just needs to basically be in like high heat. Today it was only about 65 degrees, so I mean that's not like super hot, but I feel like that's warm enough for like a lighter fragrance to still be able to perform. All right, so overall, I would have to give this fragrance a 7 out of 10. I think, you know, if it performed as the original is said to perform, you know, where it gave me like nice projection, and, you know, even after 5 hours, it was still, you know, pretty much present where I was still getting wafts of it, I think I could give it like maybe a 9 out of 10 or possibly more. But with it being such a skin scent for, I would say, most of the duration of the time that I've had it on me, I can't really recommend it, you know, being anything over like a 7. All right. So I would say definitely if you like a fruity sort of, you know, woody type of fragrance, this one is definitely a nice one to check out. And especially if you don't like fragrances that are super strong. But I would say if you're looking for something that is like a beast mode performer, or something that's going to push out and grab people's attention, this one is probably not going to be it. You're probably not going to get much compliments with this unless somebody catches you like right after you sprayed it on. All right. So again, I give this one a 7 out of 10. Again, that one is Hacivaz from Alexandria Fragrances. You can go ahead and check these out at alexandriafragrances.com. All right. So that's Jamar here, Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.